Thanks, everybody. How many people here are familiar with Taproot wizards? Okay, oh wow, all right. And quantum cats? Whoa, okay, that was like half the crowd. Really excited to have Udi and Eric here today from the two co-founders of Taproot Wizards. We're just going to jam on how do you build a cult on Bitcoin? So with that being said, Udi and Eric, what made you want to start a cult?
I mean, I've been part. Can you hear me?
Does this one work? Maybe I'll.
This is better.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I don't know the first thing about building a cult, honestly, but I do think that if you imagine a marble block, there is a cult inside that marble block, but you kind of have to carve it out. And I think in Bitcoin there was always this current Ordinals ecosystem. It was in there, but it needed the tools, it needed a shape. I don't think we could have just created, I mean, someone probably could, but I don't think that I could have created the kind of movement that exists today. I think that there was always a desire for people that remembers the sort of the original roots of Bitcoin, why they came here in the first place. And now, of course, that culture had been overtaken for many years by, steak eaters and laser eyes, which is fine. I like steak too, but there are more things, there are other values that we came here for. So sort of carving out the slice of the Bitcoin community that we thought was underrepresented, I think that is the thing that we've done. I don't think that we necessarily created something that wasn't there, that didn't exist. We just took those people that didn't have the tools, the mediums to express themselves, and sort of carved out that cult from the existing Bitcoin culture.
It's kind of like a cult in a cult. Like the Bitcoin community already is a cult to some extent, and same with NFTs as well. Udi, do you want to walk us through a little bit of like why wizards and why cats? How did you guys land on those two kind of like cultural iconic sort of collections?
I think the wizards are all about the roots and the history of Bitcoin. And the quantum cats are a lot about the future of Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is going. And it's kind of interesting how it interfaces together, but it's totally that. Like the wizard meme, to us, I think it represented a moment in time where back in 2013, people felt like maybe we need to rebrand Bitcoin a little bit. In 2013, Bitcoin was seen as, well, most people didn't know what it was, right? And a few people who knew what Bitcoin was thought it's for criminals.
I mean, I remember the original wizard on the Bitcoin subreddit.
Yep.
It was a group of us pooled money together to buy advertising spots on other subreddits, and someone created this really shittily drawn wizard, this like ridiculous looking wizard, and it said, "Come join us." Yeah. Magic internet money. That's where that magic internet money meme comes from. So you guys decided to harness that and that vibe.
The idea of that back then was, what do people think about Bitcoin in 2013? If they know about it, they think it's money for criminals. They think you use it to buy drugs online and nothing else. And what the subreddit wanted to do was to kind of change how Bitcoin is seen. And I think in the same way, in 2023, we wanted to change the way that Bitcoin is seen for a lot of people in the crypto space, who I think at the time viewed Bitcoin as this cultish, thing that they cannot belong to. The goal was to say, hey, Bitcoin is cool. Everyone in crypto should be part of Bitcoin, not just, a specific cult of Bitcoin maximalists. And I think today, look, I don't know what exactly is the percentage that the Taproot Wizards had in making that happen, but I think today Bitcoin is seen as a much more kind of broad thing that a lot more people can be part of compared to 2 years ago. So I'm really happy about that. Like, how many people in 2023 in crypto had Bitcoin as part of their portfolio? I think really not a lot, and especially not the new ones, right? But I think today it's different. It's not where I would want it to be, though. Like, there's a lot of, like, there's a ton of people I talk to who are, in the trenches on Solana every day, and they don't own, like, even 5% of their portfolio in Bitcoin, which I think is crazy. So there's a lot of progress to do there.
And that was, so Taproot Wizards are about making Bitcoin magical again, kind of harnessing that energy from the history, this early history of Bitcoin. And Quantum Cats are looking towards the future. For those who don't know what Quantum Cats are trying to do, can you walk, either Udi or Eric?
Yeah, so the concept of the concept. So the idea behind launching an NFT collection that has a very specific mission was something that we were noodling on back in 2021. I think we started the idea of. So people were launching all these NFT collections, and the projects get money, and to do what exactly? Like how is it exactly tied to like cryptocurrency culture? So what we thought would be very cool is that what if you sold an NFT collection, and then the profit or proceeds that you make from that, you dedicate it to furthering the goals of Bitcoin, or if it's an Ethereum NFT collection, it could be for Ethereum. So basically, like raising funds through issuing an NFT collection and using the funds to improve the underlying protocol. Then the people who buy those NFTs, they could wear them to sort of demonstrate that I was an early supporter of everything that has been able to grow on this protocol since then. So it's sort of like you're contributing, you're doing charity, but you also get like a speculative item. So it's a way to raise capital and make people proud to be a participant of that, and it's also giving those people a face. So what we did with the Quantum Cats was that there is this the state that Bitcoin is in, like technologically speaking, we put all our eggs in one basket, basically, with how we're choosing to scale the protocol, and that path of scaling, making it easier to self-custody your assets and making it easier to scale transactions for people, for billions of users all over the world. We've all put our eggs in this. On the Lightning Network and other channel-based systems that require liquidity management to transfer around funds easily. I think
if this sounds complicated, it's because it is. Like I don't know what you said, but that's the problem.
Yeah, and
of Lightning.
We think that there is a much easier way to scale Bitcoin, to make it more easy to transact and to advance the functionality of Bitcoin. But it requires an upgrade to the protocol. And not something insane. Actually, the upgrade that we've been talking about is a so-called opcode, a small programming primitive that what it allows you to do in the scripting language of Bitcoin, it allows you to concatenate elements. That's why it's called cat. That functionality existed in Bitcoin from the beginning. It was one of the opcodes that was in the existing written by Satoshi himself. It existed in Bitcoin until I think 2011.
10, I think 2010.
Yes. So what we've realized, tons of research over the years, not only from our team but other researchers and core developers in the Bitcoin industry, basically discovered that if we reactivated that old cat opcode, then we wouldn't be stuck with just the Lightning protocol to scale Bitcoin. We could basically unlock a whole new paradigm of second layer protocols on top of Bitcoin. If we only had that, it's 9 lines of code. That's the kind of the thing we use. There's cats have 9 lives. There's 9 lines of code.
And the collection is 3,333 cats because the 3s look like little whiskers, right? The 3s look like a whisker? Isn't that why you guys did 3,333?
Sure. I'll go with that. Yes. That was always the point. But yeah, the cat thing, I think with Quantum Cats, the idea is, okay, we look into the future of what Bitcoin can look like, how can we make it better? And I think it's something what we found a lot of people like to kind of identify with, like, okay, I'm really interested in the future of Bitcoin and where it's going.
What I thought was brilliant too is that mimetically you're taking.
I don't know if it's brilliant. Everything we do is really stupid, but like.
I mean, you guys are retarded, but like retarded in like a smart way. It's like the bell curve, like dumb smart and smart are the same smart. These guys are kind of both. But if you look at
he's on the right side. I'm not.
Look at using JPEGs to mimetically meme an opcode or a BIP or a change in a protocol, pretty unheard of. I've never heard of anyone doing that before.
Yeah, so the cringe way to do it was with the bat signal that the Ethereum people had on Twitter, right? Sorry to anyone who likes that. I just don't like it. But we thought about that, and it was like a meme. Like they wanted to make an upgrade to Ethereum, and they used a meme to do it. I think it was a cringe meme.
That was EIP 1559, right?
Yeah. So we were thinking, okay, can we also meme this? And I mean, the upgrade is called OpCat. I don't know how Satoshi came up with that amazingly memeable name, but it is called OpCat. So you have to kind of take advantage of that. So yeah, I think there has been precedent to people kind of memeing Ethereum upgrades before. And in Bitcoin, no. In Bitcoin, it definitely hasn't happened. And as you can imagine, more of the traditional people in Bitcoin have been very mad at us for daring to meme such a serious thing.
And I think, too, what's interesting is because of how lackadaisical you are about it, because of how mimetic it is and strange, a lot of these Bitcoin core devs don't like it just because you have your name associated with it. Do you think like the building a cult around this, building kind of memes around this, like it helps and hurts, or is it mostly helps?
Well, let me give some background context here. So the Bitcoin protocol has always upgraded. Like this is not the first time that someone does a soft fork on Bitcoin. So if you go back in time, there was the pay to script hash soft fork. Then there was the relative time locks soft forks, and then there was SegWit, and then there was Taproot. So the Bitcoin protocol has upgraded on a regular cadence every couple of years, and there were these technical leaders that were in charge of that, of the road. Well, not necessarily in charge, but they were entrusted to implement code upgrades into the Bitcoin protocol on a regular cadence. And when they came with something new and said, well, guys, it's time to activate Taproot now, everyone was just like, okay, well, the protocol needs to get better, of course, and we're waiting, all of us are waiting for the next soft fork so that we can improve the protocol. After Taproot, the situation basically changed entirely, because those technical leaders, the core developers of the protocol, part of it had to do with the fake Satoshi guy, the Craig Wright, who was suing everyone. And it sort of made many of these Bitcoiners withdraw from sort of the, being highly involved in consensus politics. So they kind of withdrew. And the core developers of the Bitcoin protocol today are a much younger crowd, more immature. Like most of them have never been involved in a soft fork upgrade before. So in order to upgrade the protocol today, we don't have this sort of trusted high priest that say which soft fork we should use. So it's basically in the hands of the community now. And one other note on that that's very important to understand in this context is that this also may be, so now we have the ETFs on Bitcoin, right? We have MicroStrategy, and we have BlackRock, and we have, what are the name, the Fidelity ones. So we have institutional capital, and we have some countries adopting Bitcoin and kind of not adopting it anymore. But we're getting into a phase, like with BlackRock, where it's going to be very hard for the current Bitcoin community to reach consensus on any soft fork in the future. So we are sort of at the moment where if we want to change Bitcoin from this protocol that relies on the Lightning Network, which doesn't really work, to scale Bitcoin, if we want to do something different, then it's kind of now that we have to do something. And that's why, and because we don't have those technical leaders that just tell us what the next soft fork is, it's basically in the hands of the community to take charge of your own fate, and this may be the only time
chance.
It might be. I don't want to sound like a doomer. Like if we don't do it now, then Bitcoin is never going to reach its full potential. But that is actually how I feel.
And so
when Eric starts an answer with, "Let me give you some background on this," it's like Putin on the Tucker interview. It's like, "Let me give you the prehistoric details for a minute." Sorry.
I was about to say, well, the topic of this talk is around building a cult. So let's
Yes.
get to that a little bit. We need to dig in. We only have about 5-10 more minutes here. So how do you guys develop that community around Quantum Cats and Taproot Wizards? And how do you make this building on Bitcoin magical again? How do you develop a culture around that? Like, you guys are both very active on social. You have events. You know, what are the key elements of building that cult?
I think the one thing that people have been most upset with us about doing to build a cult has been the quests. That was the most divisive strategy.
Well, people had to wear a wizard outfit and take a shower with a wizard outfit on.
And we didn't even give them a wizard at the end of it.
They had to post on social media, including the founder of Yuga Labs.
He did that too,
He did the shower, yeah.
A bunch of people, a bunch of people did that. None of them got a wizard. Like, I don't know why they believed that. But it's shared experiences, right? Like when you have those shared experiences, everyone, like, people were having fun. I was having fun even when I eventually did it much, much later. When people have fun together in some like unique experience, then I think, you remember that. It's something that you end up remembering. And that was, if we kind of go back in time, that was 2023, early 2023, like the depths of the bear market. It was bad. Everyone was upset. Everyone was sad. I remember when you recorded one of the first shower videos and you were like depressed in the video. Everyone was just depressed.
But well, let's not get too sad here. I mean, people were pretty energetic about it. Like some guy jumped out of a helicopter.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's a guy jumping out of a
helicopter. It was a depressed moment in time. Everyone was upset, and then there was this fun thing that everyone can do together. So I think that's a very important part.
How many submissions were there? Video submissions of people?
There are thousands of people who were
thousands of
jumping
showers
into lakes with wizard costumes on. Yeah.
And that became like a whole meme of like, did you take a shower? It was kind of like it was kind of like a proof.
It was
of
also
work.
the first time. Look, everyone is in here. We all can take in the sense of the people next to us. Like, it's a crypto conference. People don't shower.
Yeah.
This was the first time for a lot of crypto people to take a shower ever. So it's memorable. It was think back. Wow, I remember when I took a shower once.
I thought it was also kind of a proof of work function too. Like, there's no way to get around it. You had to take the shower. Whether you're Gordon, one of the founders of Yuga Labs, or someone else, like, you had to take a shower.
Yeah. It's people thought at the time people were saying this is an innovative way to distribute NFTs, but of course they were never distributed. So I guess that part was wrong. but yeah.
But there is more to it, in my opinion, than to just tell people, well, go out and take showers in wizard costumes, and now you will be a cult together. The reason that this exists, that this was possible to do, was that me and Udi, and also you, Dan, we were instrumental in shaping the Bitcoin maximalism that has been, predominant in Bitcoin culture for many years, and then we became a part of the counterculture, the part of the ones that rebelled against the own culture that we created. You create a culture, you're part of shaping that culture, and then you realize when it starts to like go astray. So what we did was we sort of became counterculture to the existing Bitcoin culture, and it was sort of from if we never had that platform to stand on, then we would never have been able to make people go and take all those wizard showers. So it was kind of like, if you wanted to be a part of the rebellion that was against the ossification and sort of intellectual degradation and dogmatic tendencies that had been suffocating the Bitcoin culture for a long time. So we broke out as individuals, and then it's kind of that meme video where someone one person goes and dances, and then another guy joins him dancing. I think they're standing like on a cliff or something, and then all of a sudden everyone wants to go and dance with that guy. So it kind of, if you've seen the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you don't. But anybody.
So you're the dancing guy. Is that what you're trying to say? You're the guy who's dancing, the first guy.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Okay. So but like counterculture usually works pretty well for establishing a cult, and then the showers help.
And there's a part of that too, which are the events, which we've done some iconic events together. For those who don't know, I'm a GP at Asymmetric, but I also help out with planning our events because I've been in Bitcoin for almost 12 years. I've been to a lot of crypto events, and it's typically at a fucking bar, and it's boring, and everyone's just standing around drinking beers. And wizard events, we like to get a little bit weird.
I mean, I'm weird every day, but yes. No, they're crazy. I don't think we can chill our event tonight because I think it's already fully booked. But
Well, yeah, capacity is 350, but we have 1,000 people at RSVP, so.
okay, great. No, but the one of the funniest things in those events is to see so many people, grown adult people wearing wizard outfits, which I'm gonna do it tonight too, actually. This time, there was this guy, I don't know if Mizike is here. He's showing up usually with a handmade shower that he built, mobile shower.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a shower costume.
He was at the New York event. Yeah, he had a little shower
And he has
head.
like a container with water on his back, and he's just splashing water on everyone. We always tell him not to do it, and he does it anyway. So,
But yeah, it's imagine like a sea of wizard hats. Everyone's in wizard outfits,
Right.
and there's wizard magicians. I
Right.
think. Yeah. So you guys like to get a little bit weird, make it funky, make it fun.
I think we're just nerds, man. I think we're just very nerdy. But people look, it's crypto. So,
All right, guys, we're close to time. Any kind of last closing thoughts on building a cult in Bitcoin?
I would like to just get serious for a second. So I think that we are heading into a world that is getting more geopolitically unstable. And I do think that Bitcoin is going to matter in that world more. And the extent to whether or not Bitcoin will serve as a medium of exchange in that world where countries have less trust between each other, and we actually demand the self-sovereign properties of Bitcoin. If we want that to happen, then we actually do need to upgrade the system. And there is a time element here that we have to sort of jump on this opportunity now. So for me, I love the ordinals, I love the art and everything, but I also actually deeply care about Bitcoin. And if you think that Bitcoin can play an important geopolitical role in the world we're heading in towards, then I do recommend you to seriously look into this OpCat upgrade that we're promoting, because it can, decide sort of the fate of what type of currency, what type of digital asset Bitcoin becomes. But also, yeah, I mean, JPEGs and wizard hats and parties and all that stuff too is very important.
Any final thoughts, Udi?
I agree with Eric for once. That was great because it doesn't happen so often. But yeah, I think the cat stuff is gonna change a lot. Like there's gonna be, I think it's gonna be this moment that might, like for people who come after OpCat, Bitcoin might seem almost unrecognizable in some ways. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm maybe for a more optimistic kind of overview in the world, though. Like, I think things are going to be awesome.
The world is going to end, and OpCat is our only chance.
Well, thank you, everybody. Cheers.
Okay.